Good morning, Interwebs. It is about 12:15 on Thursday. And so far, I've not gotten much done. Let's see. I got up, not to an alarm, because we determined that today was a day off. Though then we changed our mind and kind of determined that we're doing things. But we all slept in. So that was good. Got up, and then I sat on the couch, and I drank an entire cup of coffee before it got cold. Small victories, right? Steve and I ran and got some gas for the chainsaw in the next town over, and now everybody's working on various projects. I have gotten myself dressed. I threw on a pair of sweatpants with the rest of my pajamas because I was going to leave the house. I threw on this hat because number one, I was cold, and number two, my hair is atrocious. But then I just look super schlubby, and like in a negative way, because I feel like there's like schlubby is a fashion statement, you know, when it feels good, and then there's like catching yourself in the mirror and just being like, ugh, I look like I feel. So I put on some earrings, and I did my makeup, and here I am, and it's so far, it seems better. I don't know, but it seems better. Maybe that coffee helped with that too. So now, I'm trying to determine what I'm going to do for the day. I've made everybody's to-do list, and part of mine is to work on my NaNoWriMo that I did not do yesterday, but my kid's using the computer right now, so I can't do that. And to work on my NaCrossWaymo, which I could do whenever. I also am determined during this days off to finish Squareathon, because I feel pathetic at this point, and I have another long-term art project that should be arriving in the mail here any day. So I need to finish this so I can move on to that, because that will take up all my time artistically, I think, between whenever it gets here and February, maybe. We'll see. So I think I have 4 days left, maybe five of Squareathon to do. So I'm going to clear off my ironing board mess. This is my art bag that has like my watercolors and sketchbook and things. There's my sketchbook. And then you can see the green yarns for my NaCrossWaymo sweater are back there. And then this is a paper pumpkin project that we had been working on that I think everybody's done with. I was going to display them, but I don't think they're going to display the way I wanted. So maybe we'll just be happy that we made them, and then they could, ooh, we have the fireplace going. We could burn them. That would be kind of fun. Okay, I'll see what we decide to do. But I think that they're probably done as being a project. We got our value out of them. But I don't know. I guess I have to ask other people because they're not just mine. All right, I'm going to clear that off so we have a spot so we can roll our die and do a Squareathon square to start our day. Well, looky here. My washing machine repair person is here today. Woohoo! So we tried to use the washing machine 2-3 days ago. And anyways, it was just like spitting water out the front because the seal
is ripped right
had a rip. So new seal was ordered. 2 days later, it is here. And this is what the inside of our machine looks like. It's so wiggly and jiggly when you take all of the
support pieces.
Yeah. Off. So Steve's cleaning around it, and we'll have the new rubber gasket, which we were thinking about getting anyways because it should just make the whole washer setup work better. But it now will literally seal the washer again. And in the process, he's cleaning all the parts,
all the bits because it's open.
Yeah. So hopefully this won't take him a terribly long time. It seems like he's making really quick progress.
Yeah, it's all deconstructed. The hard part is going to be getting the boot to properly latch back on this thing, the seal. There's one spring clamp that goes around the back. Oh. And I don't think that one's going to be terribly difficult. And then there's another one that's going to go around the front, and I'm a little worried about how that one's going to go.
Well, that's what YouTube's for.
Well, it's more the trying to get it all in the right places. Like, I know where it goes, yeah. It's the actual doing. And there's a little hose that comes out right here that connects to the bottom.
Oh, how plugged up was ours? Very.
Complete, like, both the plug part is plugged up, but then also the drain tube itself.
I wonder if that'll fix a bunch of our problems.
It should. It has a little bend, and the bend is plugged up.
Our water does not do bends well.
It looks very open right here, from what I can see. So I'm fairly certain it is in the rubber pipe that the issue is.
Cool.
So I'm working on cleaning that out, and then I'm going to go get the shop vac and vacuum out the inside of this, because there's some mouse droppings and spider webs.
It's a warm and cozy place in the wintertime.
And so I will vacuum it out, and then I will start reassembling it.
Nice. Right. It is nearly 1 o'clock, and I just finally got back in here. I cleaned up the papers that were here. Now we just have square-a-thon stuff. This is my color tester piece of watercolor paper. And these are eventually all going to be part of my sweater. Well, I might not use quite all of that green. We'll see how far it gets me. But I have procured a dye. It's a different one than we'd been using, but this is going to be this is my usual dye. I'd been stealing the one out of Parcheesi. So, let's give it a roll. For those of you that don't know, Square-a-thon was a thing I was doing through an account on Instagram, and we've rolled a 1. Basically, there were prompts that were based on, 60s and 70s music, and I decided to Kendrify it by rolling a die to determine my medium, and then I'm also trying to put a yarny twist on each square, and they're all going in this grid, and when they're done, I'm going to peel off the tape and have an art, right? I'm going to hang it up in my office. So, 1, according to my little notes here, is to use Sharpies, which is a set of fine tip Sharpie markers. When we were out in California for my father-in-law's funeral, my sister-in-law and her mom very thoughtfully put together an art journaling kit for me, because they had found that to be a fun and useful thing, and they thought I might as well. So they sent me home with a little paper sack full of all the art things, sets of markers and colored pencils and a beautiful book, and things that we don't necessarily go out of our way to procure for ourselves, but are really nice. So I put all of that into a bag that I had made, and I put all the pencils and stuff into another little bag. And so now I have a little art journaling kit. And so I decided that based on all the mediums that came with that kit, I had determined each one was a number on the die. And so I roll. So I'm going to be using Sharpies. The prompt for day, what are we on? Let's see, 4, 8, day 12. The prompt for day 12 is White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane, which is a song I really don't like. I don't really like Jefferson Airplane, basically at all, but have an idea for White Rabbit. Took me a while to think of an idea, and it's going to have a yarny connection to project bags. So I'm going to go and find the reference image so I know what I'm using. Then I'll probably use a pencil to do a light sketch. Then I will color it in using my Sharpies, and that'll be good. Okay, gonna go work on that and see how far we get before it's time for lunch, because I already smell Steve made some bread in the bread maker this morning, and it just got done, and it smells really good. So we're gonna have some toast with butter, and I'm gonna make some pudding, because ordinarily I would make pudding toast, that's what I kind of want, which is a thing where I make toast and then I literally just pour homemade pudding on top of it. It's delightful. But I don't really want to ruin the texture of my newly baked bread. It's better with older bread. So I think we're going to have thick slices of fresh bread with lots of butter on them, and then I'll make homemade pudding on the side. I think that's the plan. Sounds very healthy, huh? Well, it's going to be healthy for my soul. That's what it's going to be healthy for. So, and I mean, it's really not that bad. Everything in moderation. Okay. Gonna go and work on this till it's time to do that, because Steve's, elbows deep in our washing machine, so it'll be a little bit till ready to eat. And hopefully I can make some progress on this before then. Well, it's about 2:25 and I'm done. So here we have my little picture. There's my White Rabbit. This is a small portion of a fabric that I used to make some garden-y project bags. There were sheep, there were rabbits, and a bunch of produce in this kind of kind of neat style. I actually kind of like drawing this, was kind of fun. I don't know, maybe I would consider making something else in a similar kind of fantastical, but kind of pastel-y. I don't know. These weren't as pastel colors as the original, but no, it made me think of things. So that was good. So we have one more row left, but I need to go make lunch, and then we shall begin. Well, it is 6:45. The washer is back together. I have taken a snooze. Everyone else appears to have showered and is now playing video games. So I think that it's time for me to work on the next square. So that'd be square number 13. And the theme is Our House by Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I think that's how many were in there at the time, that there was no young. I don't know. Anyways, that's the theme. So I'm going to grab my die, which is still out, and we shall roll and see what our medium is. Okay. 2. What is 2? I don't remember off the top of my head. Oh, 2 is pencil. Like ordinary pencil. So, I shall gather that, find something I like all right for the topic of our house, and then I shall start the drawing. Well, it is about 7:45. That took me about an hour-ish between last time I picked up the camera. Anyways, here is what I came up with. So this is a picture of what our house is fueled by. This is a post I actually put on Instagram, the picture originally. And I took it while I was working on my Tides of Change Afghan that I made out of, this one. Out of this one. I was working on that. And so there's the hook that's sitting in my lap. Since I was using normal pencil, you obviously can't see the yarn color, so it was kind of irrelevant. But one of my favorite mugs is this one that's like love, and it's about reading, so it has a bunch of stuff like that. But that's what you could see, and there was frothed milk in the picture, which had one particularly prominent bubble. So I'm actually pretty happy with it. Somehow I ended up with 2 hands in one column, and hands are hard. In fact, the hand on this, after I posted to Instagram, I made a few little tweaks, and I like it much better. So, again, this is another image that turned out better in person than it was looking on any camera. But that's okay. It's not like I'm spending a great deal of time, like, tweaking them on the camera. I could probably, like, if I wanted to, be one of those people who photoshopped the things that they put on Instagram. But I'll play with basic filters to even things out. But I'm not going that far. So, the next topic is in the jungle. No, the lion sleeps tonight. But I think that the idea I'm going to go with is taken from the line in the jungle. So, I guess we shall roll to see what medium we will work with, potentially after I go make some food. So, 2. Did I just do 2? I feel like I just did 2. I did just do 2. 2 is pencil again. So, I guess we're penciling in the next one. And, my paper doesn't want to go in. So, I will probably go make some food, and then I will work on that. So, we'll see that. I think this is the first time, it's the first time I've done the same medium twice in a row. But here I did 2 colored pencils. Pencil, watercolor. Colored pencil, pencil, watercolor, pencil, Sharpie, Sharpie. Okay, so I did two colored pencils. 2 Sharpies. Then we have super tip marker, Sharpie, pencil, or another pencil. So, partly these columns like to have duplicate things. Then we'll see what the last 2 bring. Yeah, my washi tape isn't holding up so well. I don't think it was really meant, firstly it's cheap, and it wasn't really meant to be on here this long. Because I've taken like an extra month or month and a half to get this all done. So, oops. And it didn't help that while I was working on the last square, my cat was sitting next to me, nudging her face, trying to peel it off. So, okay. Gonna go and eat something, and then we shall work on The Lion Sleeps Tonight and pencil. It is about 1 o'clock, and everybody's asleep, and I thought I would check in. I took a shower and all the things, but I also did complete my square for The Lion Sleeps Tonight. So I went with pencil as indicated by the die, and I was trying to think of like what I want to do. I didn't have any lion things that I've made, so I couldn't go that route. So then I was thinking about like the In the Jungle, the Mighty Jungle idea, and if I had any jungle animals. And I mean, ultimately, I feel like there was a time when I had like all of like my monkeys and elephants and giraffes and all things set together, but I didn't have a good reference image. And right now I'm just finding it easiest with these squares to have like a reference image that I'm basing the art off of, because it's like a good indicator to me that it looks like the thing. Like that in and of itself makes me happy and like decide it's good, is that it's identifiable as the picture that it was based off of. So I went through my Instagram and found a picture that I had taken several years ago when this room was in a much different setting. We cleared out the guest room, we turned it into my office, but we had yet to like move all the things in here, and I had just started the new Makes Monday podcast and all the things, and I had an elephant and a frog sitting on the top of the shelf thing, and I'd taken a picture of them, and I posted on Instagram. So I went ahead and I drew that image in pencil, and there we go. So I'm happy with it. I didn't draw all of the crochet stitching, I just drew like the shapes, but I like how it turned out, and like the shading and the paneling in the background, and the picture was like, you know, askew as I take a lot of my pictures, so I like how that turned out, and I kind of like how it's all coming together. 2 more squares, so I think I'm going to try and do the next one. We'll at least roll and see what we come up with to use as our medium, and then we'll decide. So, 2, according to my little sheet here, is pencil again. Really? 3 2s in a row? Okay. The topic for this next one is a whiter shade of pale, which, I'll have to think on what I want to do with that. Okay. I'll go work on that. It's gonna be funny if this bottom row might turn out to be all pencil. I don't know. Okay. Well, it is about 2 o'clock, and I've been done with my square for a while. I've just been watching YouTube and sitting on the couch, but thought I would share this with you. And while I could do the final square tonight, I think I'm gonna just wait and do it in the morning, because I don't know why, because I've already done 4 squares today, and that seems like a lot. So here is the final product. So if it'll focus on the white. So with the whiter shade of pale, before we did scrap timber, I took all my little scraps of yarn and I laid them out, kind of like this, on the table, or the ironing board, by color. And then took pictures of them. And this is based on the picture of the whites going into the grays. There's like grays and blacks, and it went like that. But this is just the little white segment. And I actually did draw all the balls, and the way that they're like rolled and like where it crosses is very similar to the directions of the individual balls. And there's even like the little flowers on the background. But anyways, I'm happy with that. And there's 1 square left, which we'll have to wait until tomorrow. So I will see you then. Nighty night.